Hey everyone, welcome to the reimagined Cine Geeks Sit and Talk. I'm Roy.
And Angela.
And yes, so if you're wondering, the last time na nag-sit and talk tayo, ginawa natin siya talking about Bar Boys.
Bar Boys.
Oo.
Yung MMFF pa.
Yes,
Oo.
MMFF pa. Pero, ang lumabas doon, parang non-spoilery pa rin siya. So essentially, parang siya naging walk and talk, stand and talk pa rin. Oo.
So may walk, may stand, may sit.
Yun. Pero, naisip natin na parang I'm pretty sure that our fellow Cinegeeks are also looking for the in-depth, kumbaga. Na parang paghimay natin ng sine. Namimiss na nila yun. And so, napag-desisyon na natin na yung sit and talk,
Wow.
i-repurpose natin na parang yun na yung nalala niyo ba yung Cine Bites natin?
Yun yung ginawa natin early last year.
Actually, same time this year, last year, yung nagsimula tayo nun.
Oo. Parang sobrang short podcast episode siya. Parang under 10 minutes. Parang quick. Sabihin ko sana quickie.
Welcome to the Cinegeeks Quickie.
Parang ganun lang siya. As in parang mas quick fire. Quick fire is what I meant. Mas quick fire siya na podcast episode na hindi naman sobrang haba. And we only talk about one movie dun sa mga Cinebites natin na yun.
Pero I think yun din naman yung gagawin natin dito. We're still gonna talk about one movie per since gusto ko natin Cinegeeks Quickie. Sit and talk.
I-trademark na natin yan bago tayo maunahan.
Sige, yung dito sa ating Cinegeeks Sit and Talk, we're still gonna be talking about one title per video or per reel, whatever, kung saan mo whenever you find us on the internet. Pero for this inaugural episode, medyo maghahabol tayo kasi marami tayong hindi na pag-usapan in-depth.
Oo, kasi nag-mini hiatus na naman yung Cinegeeks.
For now, those of you who have followed us doon sa Cinegeeks 3.0, na yung hindi parang review yung natin, yung mga episode natin, we appreciate your feedback and know that we are parang retooling, kumbaga, yung ating video podcast.
Pero kasi may mga naghahanap pa rin talaga ng reviews natin eh.
That's true.
Marami tayong mga long-time followers, mga talagang OG from the very beginning.
Yes.
Na talagang hinahanap pa rin nila yung mga reviews natin. Not really, I mean, siguro sa iba, yung mga non-movie specific topics or like not reviews. Tulad ng mga lists, compilations, ganyan, our favorites. Pero, halimbawa, yung sa MMFF, di ba? Talagang hinanap din nila talaga yung reviews eh.
That's true. Pero medyo, ako ba kung bakit lapitin tayo ng mga seismic life shifts. Kaya medyo na kami dun sa pag-review ng in-depth nung mga MMFF films. Pero ito, maghahabol tayo ng ating utang and let's get to it. So the first film that we're going to talk about in this episode is going to be Send Help. Yes, starring Rachel McAdams, Dylan O'Brien, directed by Sam Raimi.
Yes.
From 20th Century Studios.
So, nagustuhan mo to?
Oo, talaga. Sobrang talagang, alam mo yung nakakamiss yung ganong klaseng Sam Raimi kasi sinasabi natin to nung nung walk and talk natin yan, na parang dahil yung last na Sam Raimi in our memory
yung
is
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange 2. So, I mean, Doctor Strange 2 was
Bad.
serviceable. Hindi mo sabihin bad. It was serviceable kasi we were watching it at a time na sobrang nating uhaw sa Marvel.
Ako, it was all over the place. I'm so sorry.
Yun yung niya, problema niya doon. Oo.
Halos lahat ng mga Marvel na lumabas nung pandemic except with the exception of Shang-Chi.
Saka yung No Way Home.
Ayun na yun, yung mga yun. Pero like yung mga Marvels, Eternals, yan. Ano pa? Kahit yung mga series, yung mga Secret Invasion.
Yung Moon Knight maganda.
Maganda yung Moon Knight. Pero, alam mo yung ewan ko, yung Multiverse of Madness was just madness.
Din kasi yun eh. Parang anong nangyari kay Multiverse of Madness, sobrang niyang burdened by high expectations kasi ang dami na nung theory na parang lalabas si ganito, lalabas si ganyan. Parang umabot pa ata sa point na ang rumor lalabas si Tom Cruise. na Iron Man. So parang, hindi na nga it became a victim of its own hype. Pero, in spite of that, going back lang to the Sam Raimi connection, kahit papaano, nagawa niya ng serviceable job. So, hindi siya top tier Sam Raimi. Dito sa Send Help, this is the Sam Raimi we know and love.
Hindi kasi siya
Talagang,
talaga yung at the helm dito. Ramdam mo talaga na it's a Sam Raimi production, not a Kevin Feige production. So yun siguro yung pinakamalaking distinction. Pero let's put the Marvel conversation out of the way. Ito ang Sam Raimi isms, katulad nga ng sinabi ko dun sa Walk and Talk. Walk and Talk yan, no? Talagang, ito talaga yung parang quintessential Sam Raimi.
Kasi ito na nakakatawa dun sa mga Sam Raimi I mean, he is able to make horror funny. And it's not a horror, and yung funny niya is yung hindi siya nagiging horror comedy. Yung funny niya is situational horror na parang mapapailing ka na lang at mapapachuckle ka na lang. Hindi siya parang, may mga
Hindi siya
ganun
punchline-y
Hindi
Hindi siya parang scary movie.
Oo.
Or ano ba yung mga horror comedy?
Wala akong maisip.
Basta-
Ito, sige. Parang siyang, kumbaga, it's a horror comedy in the same way that there are comedic elements to weapons. But it's not a comedy.
Mas witty lang siya. Tsaka, parang tongue-in-cheek. Ganon.
That's true. And sige, search natin Kasi alam ko si Sam Raimi ang nag-direct Pero in terms of the script, double check ko
Written din ba niya?
Tignan ko. Written siya by Mark Swift and Damian Shannon. Okay. So, well, they are behind yung mga Freddy versus Jason at saka yung Friday the 13th. So, parang ano siya parang siyang, I mean, those are films na parang medyo iffy ang quality. Let's be honest. Pero dahil siguro gimmicky. Pero dahil sa parang presence ni Sam Raimi, na streamline siya, nagkaroon ng focus. May punch may bite It has something to say about yung tipong toxic culture ng corporate, hindi lang corporate America, corporate anything. Na parang yung tipong mga we're a family here.
Trust the process.
Or you matter in this whole company. Parang may mga times na talagang sobrang relatable yung character ni Rachel McAdams.
Ikaw ba, nung employee ka, ganun ba yung situation nyo sa workplace? Like, parang we're a family here, ganyan. Yun lang yung sagot mo, tawa lang. Hindi naman natin sabihin yung company. Bubulong ko na lang sa comment section.
Sige, lagay sa comments yan. Ito, ang pinaka nakaka-relate ako dun sa part na yun is, di ba, ang character ni Rachel McAdams is yung si Linda Liddell na manager siya doon sa kumpanya ni Dylan O'Brien. Ngayon, pinangakuan kamo siya ng tatay ni Dylan, played in a picture cameo by Bruce Campbell. Hindi siya lumabas pero ano siya sa likod na parang siya pala yung tatay na friend ni Linda. Sinabi niya magiging VP siya. Pinas over siya for a promotion.
Doon ka nakarelate?
Alam mo yung kwento niyan. Di ba? Yeah. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far, far away.
Ayun, may pinangako na napako.
May pinangako na napako.
Yun.
Yung mga ganun, yun ang napaka-prevalent niyan in corporate settings, corporate culture. Kaya I love how the screenwriters and Sam Raimi were able to tap into the anxieties and the horror of working in a very cutthroat environment such as corporate America doon sa kanila pero in corporate culture. Kaya talagang ang dami kong mga nakikita natin kasama natin doon. Yung mga alam kong mga embedded in corporate culture na talaga. Alam mo yung parang yung tawa na may extra konting lakas yung tawa.
may tawa na may konting iyak.
Oo. Ay nako, yung acting kumusta para sa iyo?
Yung acting, okay naman sa akin. Of course, Rachel McAdams is always great in everything that she does. Si Dylan O'Brien para sa akin yung mas nagulat ako Kasi syempre ang nakatatak pa rin sa akin sa kanya, siya si Maze Runner, di ba?
Actually, I mean, hindi ko siya masyado pang napapanood I mean, siya yung tipo kasi parang You've seen it. So, ba si Percy Jackson?
Hindi. Si
Well,
Logan Lerman
Logan
yun.
Lerman. Ito mo, kamukhaan si Logan Lerman.
Maghawig nga sila,
Kaya
no?
silang dalawa.
Ano pa sila? Meron pang isa silang kasabayan. Si Josh Hutcherson.
Wala na yan. Na siya na.
Nasa na 5 nights na siya.
Nalubog na siya sa impyerno ng Five Nights at Freddy's. Pero yun, Dylan O'Brien is not, yun nga, that kind of actor na parang he gets lost in the mix or got lost in the mix. Kasi, for dito sa Send Help, parang ang galing niya. He stood out. Ang ganda ng balance niya ng being a sleazebag and also showing a very, very real fear of what the other person he's with in the situation can do.
And
May humanity
that was what I was about to say. Na parang we see the bosses as these very detached, distant, inhumane people. Pero parang the portrayal of Dylan here in this movie, parang humanizes it. Humanizes the boss figure.
Para siyang may hindi naman natin, hindi ina-absolve yung mga klase ng tao represented by the character of Dylan. Pero, syempre, in any kind of, movie, you'd always want na your characters are well-rounded, may dimensions sa kanila, or essentially, giving them humanity. And that's what this film was able to do. Kasi, comparison naman doon sa humanity and character development ng character ni Rachel McAdams, si Linda, naiintindihan mo kung bakit siya nag-break bad. Doon sa mga moments na nag-break bad siya. Yun.
Actually, sobrang vulnerable nung portrayal ni Rachel McAdams nung character ni Linda. Talagang ramdam mo kung ano yung pinagdaanan niya, ramdam mo yung pain niya, ramdam mo yung struggle niya. Parang it's just so easy to root for the character kahit na hindi siya perfect and she's not all good. And sometimes, all people are, alam mo yun, parang you have a protagonist na not necessarily a good guy, a good person. And just because she's an employee doesn't mean she's below or she's weaker or she's inferior. Yun yung parang isa sa mga na-prove dito sa movie na to eh. Masabi ko lang pala, parang Dylan O'Brien reminds me of Chase Crawford din.
Para siya si The Deep.
Ganon yung atake niya din sa character.
Yung sleazebag na alam mong beat down by society and by time. Not absolving him of his wrongdoings, pero you know where the wrongdoing is coming from. So,
pero marami rin siyang gustong patunayan, alam mo yun.
Talaga. Ang laki ng chip on his shoulder. Yan. So, I mean, the music is good. Sorry, nasabi na natin sa walk and talk natin to. Yung Survivor na inclusion. Nakakakilig.
Kung fan ka ng Survivor, matutuwa ka dito. Speaking of which, malapit na. Survivor Season 50.
In the hands of the fans.
Comment nyo dito kung Survivor fan kayo. Kung gusto nyo bang, kung gusto nyo gumawa kami ng week by week na reaction. Kasi alam nyo ba, alam ko na kwento na natin to pero ang original idea ng Cinegeeks back in 2020, pandemic, is...
Iba pa yung pangalan na Cinegeeks nun.
Iba pa. Pero Patreon content yun.
Sige.
Ito natin nire-reveal. Pero, yung pinakaunang parang mock episode na nirecord ng Cinegeeks, or the two of us as a podcast, was the Survivor All Winners episode 1.
40. Survivor 40.
Na ang nangyari, yung episode na yon yung recording namin mas mahaba pa kaysa dun sa episode. So parang sabi natin, wag na.
Ano yung gano'ng katagal yun? Sa kalahating oras yung episode. Umabot tayo ng 2 oras yung raw file natin. Alam ko parang tayo, nag-part 1, part 2 pa tayo nung audio file natin.
Ay, oo. 2 part yun. Patreon content din yan.
Sorry, masabi ko lang pala, not an ad, not sponsored, pero we are currently recording our episode here at the Starbucks branch sa Green Hills Promenade. So,
baka naman.
Starbucks Philippines, baka naman. Yan. Anyway, sige, going back. Send Help is a great time in the cinema. I had so much fun. I want more movies like this. Yung tipong sobrang niyang exciting. Hindi siya exciting dahil sa action, pero exciting siya dun sa yung unpredictability of what the film can be.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that the film was able to become what it promised it would be
Mm.
at the start of the film. Na-stick niya yung landing, so to speak. Yan. Kaya for this, we're gonna give it a solid A.
A.
Oo. Yeah, solid A for Send Help.
Mm.
And I believe it's still in cinemas. Don't
Yes.
miss it. It's if you are a fan of yung mga Sam Raimi na horror and yung gore, nakakatuwa talaga siya. Okay, sige, moving on. Pag-usapan naman natin ang The Housemaid.
The Housemaid. Ito early
Oo.
early this year yon, January. Yun ba yung pinakaunang movie na pinanood natin?
Yes, that was the first movie for 2026.
Ay, oo. Ang ganda
What a
ng
start
pambungad.
for 2026 talaga.
As in, sobrang hype naman itong movie na to eh. Actually, I've been hearing rave reviews about it. Although wala akong pinanood. Kahit ano, trailer lang napanood ko. Tapos, I'm aware this is a book. So, yun lang yung alam ko going in.
Oo.
And, syempre, Amanda Seyfried. Alam ko naman kung ano yung expect ko sa kanya. Pero grabe. Na-shock pa din ako sa performance niya dito as in.
Alam mo yung ano siya eh. I mean, sige, not to disparage any fandom or what. Pero, I mean, I respect the hell out of BookTok. Kasi sobra talagang united front nila.
Ang
Talagang
alin?
yung BookTok.
Book
Talagang
talk.
solid. Yan.
Oo.
Ano yung parang majority voting block yung grupong yan talaga. Sorry, masabi ko lang na the last time there was a film that BookTok said was good,
Oh.
it ends with us. Kaya medyo parang
It
Okay.
did not end with the
I
movie.
hope it ended na yung movie nila,
Ay, oo nga no. Si Brandon Sklenar din yun.
diba?
Favorite pala siya ng
Suki
BookTok
ng
eh.
BookTok si Brandon Sklenar. So nung biglang ito nga, tama ka na, it's a book. It's based on a trilogy of books actually. Na of course, BookTok, syempre, kahit anong ganong klaseng libro, iha-hype nila yan. So I took it with a grain of salt. And wala tayong masyadong ibang pinanood na trailer. Wala akong binasang masyadong anything else. Maliban dun sa kung ano yung lumalabas na sa Facebook, whatever. And I'm so glad na wala akong alam tungkol sa sining to. Kasi, eto, kung dun sa walk and talk natin or stand and talk natin, full spoiler, or non-spoiler tayo dito, full spoilers, I'm so happy where this film went. All the different places talaga. Na parang akala mo, wait, si Amanda Seyfried ba yung buwang? Or si Sydney Sweeney ba masama? May binabalak siya sa pamilyang to.
Ang ganda. Kahit si Sydney Sweeney eh. Sa tamang sakto lang yung ano, napaka-perfect sa karakter ng dead kid acting niya.
Oo, actually.
Oo. Kasi
Pero-
para siyang, ano yung, okay. Ganun siya magsalita eh. Pero parang bagay dun sa karakter.
Pero for some reason, parang siyang nakapaghanap siya ng second, third gear eh.
Ay,
So, parang pag doon sa dead kid niya, na-weaponize niya yung parang dead kid niyang
default
reputation.
energy.
Default energy, yes. Oo. Na when she finally kicks it up a notch, it's surprising. And
At the same time, sobrang nag-shift gear talaga.
Yun.
Ramdam mo na nag-ibang tao siya.
talaga.
Oo.
So yun, for those of you who haven't seen it or who don't know it yet, again nga, we're going full spoilers here sa ating pag-sit and talk tayo. It's about, again, si Sydney Sweeney. She's applying to be the housemaid in the household of Amanda hindi siya Seyfried eh.
Seyfried.
Basta parang sa nag-guest siya kay Stephen Colbert, tapos parang sinabi niya yung tamang pag-pronounce, nakalimutan ko. Seyfried, parang ganon.
Seyfried.
Oo. Amanda Seyfried, tapos asawa ni Amanda si
Brandon.
Sklenar. Yun.
Pero, Sydney Sweeney has a dark past.
Yun. Na parang may ginawa siyang, murder, manslaughter ba yun?
Murder.
Murder kasi nifend niya yung kaklase niya from rape. Oo. Tapos, yun nga, naka-probation siya. She has to look for a job. And nag-apply siya dun sa bahay ni Amanda and ni Brandon. So ngayon, initially, dun sa bahay nilang dalawa, parang sobrang weird ni Amanda. Kasi may utos siyang ganun, tapos biglang pagkatapos niya mag-utos ng ito, biglang magagalit siya kasi sinunod niya yung utos niya. Yung ganun. Pero, sige, ang ganda na siguro yung spoilers natin. Kasi parang napakaganda nung biglang gear shift niya sa
Sobrang
tersyera.
galing ng acting.
Galing.
Feeling ko talagang well, ang ganda din kasi ng material. Kaya talagang na-explore naman nila and well-developed yung tatlong characters.
Oo.
As in, equally hindi rin hindi rin nagpahuli si Brandon Sklenar eh.
Ay, galing ni Brandon Sklenar. Alam mo,
Oo eh.
alam mo, pinapanood natin yung Housemaid. Naisip ko siya, para kung si Brandon Sklenar, pwede siyang maging Wolverine for the MCU X. Sorry, mabalik na tayo sa MCU. Pero yung para siyang...
Balik na naman tayo sa It Ends With Us.
Meron siyang...
Doon nila unang inano yan, di ba?
Ay, napag-usapan ba yun?
Hindi, di ba nga mayroong video si Hugh Jackman? Ay, hindi, si Brandon Sklenar na ini-interview siya ni Deadpool and ni Wolverine.
Ay, oo. Ay, yung... Ay,
Tapos kasama yung kasama pa yung nanay ni Ryan Reynolds.
Yung, mabalik na natin na napaka-weird ng marketing ng sining yun. Nagulat ako na parang, bakit pinopromote ni Hugh Jackman at saka ni Ryan Reynolds itong It Ends
Kasi
With
nga, they're
Us?
trying to make, ano nga ba yun?
Barbenheimer, parang ganun.
It Ends With Us Deadpool kind of Barbenheimer na parang collaborative marketing.
Sure.
Basta ang weird
Why
lang
not?
talaga. Ang weird nung nanay ni Ryan talaga dun.
Pero kasi doon sa It Ends With Us, hindi mo makikita si Brandon Sklenar na mag-exude nung Wolverine energy eh. Dito kasi,
Dito, lumabas. Oo.
yep.
Meron din pala siyang second gear and third gear.
Nakakatakot si Brandon Sklenar magalit.
Oo.
Mga klase. Alam mo yung, may mga moments din talaga that I legitimately parang shuddered. Kasi parang, oh my God, this guy is really scary.
Nakakatakot talaga magalit yung mga dead kid, no?
Oo.
Kapag dead kid ka tapos bigla kang naging intense, parang nag-super saiyan.
That's true.
Ganun.
Ay, nako. I mean, much has been said about this film na ang sinabi was, paano to? Nung Frida McFadden ba yun? Pangalan nung nagsulat nito? Search ko lang. The Housemaid. The Handmaid's Tale. Ito, yan. It's based on The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, written by Rebecca Sonnenschein, directed by Paul Feig. Paul Feig, isa sa mga pinaka magaling, I mean, serviceable directors.
Mas comedy siya eh. Bridesmaids.
Spy.
Ghostbusters. Yung Ghostbusters na puro babae.
I mean, hindi mo nagustuhan yan, di ba?
Hindi.
Pero yung Spy. Yung
gusto ko yun, Melissa McCarthy.
At saka yung gusto ko doon yung sa Spy, yung sobrang seryoso ni Jason Statham. Yung parang,
he's the best part.
One time, I fed them, I shoved a keyboard down a man's throat. And after 3 days, he shot keys.
Consequences.
Parang ganun. Pero yun nga, sabi ni Frida McFadden, the writer of the Housemaid books, na it was better than how she envisioned it to be.
Better yung movie sa book.
Oo.
So yung author mismo yung nagsabi.
Diba? If the author says that the movie is better than the book, you better believe it.
You better watch it.
And I believe it. Kasi talagang, God, sige, we promise na we're gonna be non-spoiler sa Sit and Talk. Pero siguro ito na lang yung asterisk natin dito sa The Housemaid, na parang siyang, kung wala kang alam dun sa libro, it's best to go in blind. Kasi kami wala kaming alam. And we had such a blast. Kasi talagang the premiere night na ginawa sa Glorieta was rocking.
Ay, grabe.
Talagang yumayanig yung sinihan dun sa saya.
As in, sobrang sigawan lahat ng tao. Tapos, as in, yung cringe, yung sabay-sabay na I mean, ako mahilig ako sa gore, pero talagang it's dissatisfied me.
It's
satisfying talaga siya.
One of it's up there for the best movie-going experiences in this very young year.
Oo.
Diyos ko. Kakatapos lang ng January, pero meron na tayo agad na contender for top 3.
Naalala ko may mga moments nga na parang sobra kong napapanak. Parang gusto kong tumayo. Ganun. Sobrang gigil ko.
Ay, sorry. Masabi ko lang pala, yung Send Help. Part din siya, no? Siguro dabi natin, top 5 movie-going experiences of the year so far.
Ang daming magaganda ng January. Ito yung natin, parang thesis statement natin. Sobrang ganda nitong January 2026 when it comes to movies.
Usually, di ba sinasabi kapag January, tapunan siya. Ano yung sabi niya ni Red Letter Media, yung FU, it's January. Na kapag lahat ng sine mo, pag ang sine mo nasa January, ibig sabihin nun, either latak siya, or it didn't deserve to be part of the previous calendar year. Pero
parang obligation na lang na i-release siya, no?
Pero it's funny kasi last year, we had the first glimpse of something like this.
Last year.
Nung lumabas ang Companion.
Ay,
January din.
Nga, no?
So parang,
ganda rin nun.
Yun, nawawala na yung parang FU, it's January na parang you dismiss all the films that come out in January.
True,
No,
true.
dismiss it at your own risk. Kasi the next movie we're going to talk about after this is
Isa pa
also
oo.
one of the best movie-going experiences of this year.
Yeah.
Pero sige, bago natin puntahan yun, sige ito, acting, walang problema. Yung script, magaling. It's the perfect kind of schlocky na thrill ride. Parang siyang guilty pleasure na scene. Nakakatawa talaga siya.
Parang ako nagbabasa ng sobrang Precious Hearts romance na
Thriller.
action. Oo.
Tama, mismo.
Action thriller na may pagka-slasher pa.
True, that's true. Okay, sige, anong grade natin for Sendhelp?
Ito, A+.
Oh, ay, Sendhelp, Housemaid pala.
Housemaid,
Housemaid.
A+ to sa akin. As in, talagang ibang klaseng cinematic experience siya.
Talaga.
As in.
Yun kasi parang, ayoko alam, kung kilala nyo kami personally, oo, we look at films na parang, yeah, is the film well made? Is the film, yung message niya, does it stand ba? Na parang hindi lang siya disposable entertainment. Pero, isa sa malaking part na kinoconsider din naman namin is, how was the movie-going experience? How was the cinema experience? Kaya I believe, I agree with Ange 100%. It's an A+. Kasi ang ganda ng anong scene napakasaya pa ng movie-going experience. Napaka-communal. Sabi ni Smash yun
Communal.
Sa Walk and Talk, it was a communal movie-going experience. It was so much fun. So,
hindi ko makakalimutan kung sinong katabi ko nun. Kasi talagang nagtitigil ako. Parang, ano nangyayari?
That was so much fun. That was so much fun talaga. So,
Parang nakailang mura yata ako. Pinapanood ko yun.
Lahat sa paligid natin puro tayo. What the?
Oo. Mayat maya.
So, yun. A+ for Housemaid. And let's move on to the next one. Ito naman, gabi din to. Primate.
Oo.
Diba? Tatlo na yun. January wala ka. Tatlo na yun. My God.
Meron palang bago pala yung genre, hindi na pala siya parang monster horror.
Ano ba siya?
Ano siya? Natural horror?
May
Check mo
ganun?
nga. Oo, alam ko. Check mo.
May ganun?
Parang nung nag-check ako ng Wikipedia ng Primate, parang sabi, this is a natural horror.
Meron bang unnatural na horror?
Oo, yung mga sci-fi.
At saka yung mga maligno. Natural horror. What the hell
Sabi sa'yo natural
is
horror
this?
siya Sabi ko nga, hindi ako familiar dito sa term na to Meron palang natural horror na genre. Siguro, pwede mong ilinya dyan yung mga Jaws, mga Cujo, mga
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic
Pero,
World.
isn't that a monster movie?
Kasi nga, they're not monsters. They're creatures of nature.
Sure. Why not?
Saan mo ilalagay alien?
Sure. Sa unnatural horror. Ay, nako, sige. Baka siguro sa kanila na yung monster. Okay, sige. Yun. Primate came out a couple of weeks ago. It's about Ben, this chimpanzee that inaalagaan ng isang pamilya. And fortunately, something happens to Ben that causes him to run amok. And him running amok is both saddening as a pet parent and also the best movie-going experience as a gorehound. Kasi grabe talaga.
Wait lang, showing pa ba to?
I think so. Oo.
Hindi pa natin pag-uusapan ng
We're
spoiler.
recording this February 3. So hindi pa natin pag-uusapan ng spoiler. Dito pa lang tayo mag-spoiler talk ng Primate. What did you think of Primate?
Jaw-dropping. If you know, you know. Sobrang brutal pala, Sobrang brutal ng chimpanzee. And ito, parang in a way, happy ako dun sa gore niya. And sobrang grabe, talagang nasatisfy yung bloodlust ko dito. Madugo talaga siya.
Yes, my God, Ben.
Pero it's also a PSA. So, napaka socially relevant movie niya. Kasi this is a cautionary tale about rabies or rabies.
Yun. If you have a pet, if you have an animal in your household that you consider part of your family, please make sure that their shots are updated.
Yes.
Kasi hindi mo alam kung ano yung pumapasok sa bibig ng alaga mo.
Or hindi mo alam kung sinong ano pang ibang creatures ang pwedeng makapasok or
That's true.
makadikit or makasalamuha ng pet mo. Kaya importante talaga to keep track of those rabies shots.
Kasi yun na nga O sige, looking at this as a pet parent, naawa ako kay Ben. Talaga. Kasi parang love na love siya nung love na love siya nung pamilya na kumupkup sa kanya. And the father of the family is played by Troy Kotsur of Coda. Alam mo, siya ba yung best actor sa Coda? Nung lumabas yung Coda nung year na yun.
Hindi ko lang alam, pero alam ko siya yung actor sa Coda.
Yan, yun yung lost Oscar year. We don't talk about that year.
At 2021?
2021. We don't talk about that year. Anyway, so immediately you know na Troy Kotsur always plays kindly, kind-hearted, fatherly characters. So parang it's very sad na ganun yung nangyari kay Ben kasi nga alam mong alagaan, may
Mahal na
alaga
mahal
naman.
din siya.
Yun.
Tsaka hindi nakakaawa talaga. Alam mo, every time na nag-cheer ako or parang natutuwa ako dun sa gore, na nadidistract ako dun sa gore, naisip ko na lang na parang
Ben is
this is
in
so
pain.
unfortunate. Oo. Napaka-avoidable niya.
Pero, let's talk about the gore. Oh my God, the gore. The gore is,
Grabe.
may dito, yung na-scalp ng buhay. Yung sa may swimming pool. Kasi parang nagtago sila lahat doon sa pool.
Oh,
Kasi may rabies. Di ba sabi, okay, let's go into the pool. Ben can't follow us. He's got rabies. Okay, ang ginawa niya, merong sa ibabaw, parang yung mga droplight. Kasi nasa Hawaii sila nakatira. So parang, tropical emerald yung design. Bumitin si Ben doon. Tapos bigla niyang, gano'n niyo.
Sumakit yung anit ko dun.
Tapos may isa pa na parang, yung crush ng bida. Kaya hinagis ni Ben sa bangin.
Ay, uugan. Bigla na lang, nahulog na. Ang pinaka ko talaga is yung yung nakilala nila sa plane. Yung nagpunta lang doon, yung sa may bed na. Oo. Tapos, ayun talaga, panga. Sinong panga?
Sinong galit? Sumigaw ngayon, makakasigaw yun, wala nang panga eh.
Oo, ang sakit ng panga ko noon.
Yung mukha pa nun, talagang kita yung kung paano siya ni-rip off ni Ben yung jaw.
Punit talaga, as in, wasak.
Tapos siya parang, kasi yung nagpa-flap yung dila niya kasi walang mababagsakan nung ikaw. Kaya kung talaga squeamish ka, I mean, understandable, avoid this film, you're excused. But if you're a horror fiend, you're a gore hound, kasi yung nakakatuwa yung pagiging slasher niya din. Meron siyang elements evocative of, people might say this is sacrilegious, na I'm comparing it to Halloween. Like yung Halloween na Michael Myers. Kasi parang sobra lang yung simple lang. It's just inside the house. Hinahabol lang nung monster or nung killer, kumaga. Or yung unaliver. Hinahabol yung unaliver yung mga bata sa loob ng bahay. Napaka bare bones niya. Walang backstory si Ben. Walang lore si Ben. Walang lore yung mga bata. It's just this monkey going ape
Literally
on them. Kaya talagang yun yung part nung pleasure of watching that kind of film. It knows what it is.
Yeah.
It doesn't purport to be anything else. And talaga, it's just so much fun. Grabe, 3.
Super fun. Hindi pa nga tapos kasi meron pang isa na super fun din.
Okay, sige. Pero bago tayo mag-move on to the next film, what's our rating for Primate?
B+.
It's a perfect B. This is not a knock. It's a perfect B movie. Yung mga ganong monster slasher films talaga. Galing.
Pero it's one of the best this year. Grabe pala yung January in horror.
Oo.
Mga horror din magkakasunod.
Agad, nabuhay na manuhan tayo ng sobrang daming magaganda.
Tapos itong next movie naman is also one of my favorite horror franchises. Follow up to. From last year's 28 years later.
Yes. We're talking about 28 years later.
The Bone Temple.
Still starring Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes.
Huh? Ray Fiennes? Ralph Fiennes.
Si Ralph.
Starring Ray Fiennes and Jack O'Connell.
Grabe. Jack O'Connell.
Yeah. I mean, if you loved him in Sinners, you love him even more dito sa Bone Temple.
Naging trending nga yan kasi 'di ba Jack O'Connell dito, tsaka yung sa Sinners. Parang mini-meme na sobrang unhinged niya pareho.
Ano yan, ninuno nung character ni Jack sa 28. Yung kaso vampira yung nasa Sinners eh. So hindi posible. Pero Sige, let's talk about Jack O'Connell. He was fantastic as Sir Jimmy Crystal. Hindi ko alam kung
Sobra.
nahuli mo siya. Doon pala sa pangalan. Naalala mo ba yung pinanood nating documentary few years ago about yung notorious fiend, Jimmy Savile?
Ay, oo nga no.
Yun yung inspiration niya.
Yung itsura niya, yung super parang
Blonde, mahaba buhok.
platinum blonde na ano. Oo.
Yun. Kasi,
Cult leader.
yeah, hindi makalde. Ano siya? Children's show host, si Jimmy Savile. Ugh. Nakakadiri.
Tapos Jimmy din.
Pero, kasi nangyari itong rage virus 2002. So, hindi nabuklat yung mga mali ni Jimmy Savile in this alternate timeline.
Oh.
Kaya idol na idol pa rin ni Jimmy Crystal si Jimmy Savile. Doon ang galing yun.
Canon ba yan?
Hindi, kasi, di ba, yung 28 days later, 2002, di ba? What is 28 years later after? Yun siya. So, 2013 na siya. Pero hindi yung mga discoveries ng over the past 2 decades, hindi nangyari.
Pero official yun, na idol niya si Jimmy Savile?
Iano ko dyan, sige. Iano ko dito yung si Jimmy Crystal, tsaka si Jimmy Savile.
Ano mo lang yun? Headcanon mo lang?
Hindi, meron siyang, hindi ko alam kung na-confirm siya nila Nia Da Costa at saka nila Alex Garland. Pero obvious naman, I mean, it's there. The similarities are unmissable.
Anyway.
Pero yun, Jack O'Connell, still menacing. Kung menacing siya sa Sinners, deep talagang bone-chilling talaga siya. Pardon the pun.
Ang galing niya.
Galing niya.
Ang dami ring bone dito.
Yun, I mean, kung gory yung primate kanina.
Ito naman bony.
Bony. Full bone. You're gonna get a bone. Wag na. Anyway.
Pero ang galing si Ray Fiennes. Sobrang galing
Speaking
niya.
of the Bone Temple, pag-usapan natin si Ray Fiennes. Napaka-underrated nung last film. Pero kasi kasalanan din ng film na yun eh. Sobrang niya kasing bagal.
Yung first. Ano ba yun?
28 years later.
Wala siyang tagline.
Wala siyang subtitle.
Yung nandun yung bata lang yung bida, tsaka si
Tsaka sino to? Si Jodie Comer.
Jodie Comer. Siya yung nanay na may sakit.
Ni Jimmy. Paano Spike?
Si Spike.
Siya yung nanay ni Spike. Yan. Pero dito talagang it's a very Ray Fiennes focused film.
Yes.
Dito talaga. And
siya talaga yung bida dito.
My God.
Actually, kung nabitin kayo dun sa previous movie kay Ray Fiennes, dito talaga ipapakita yung kwento niya.
True.
Even si Jimmy, ganun din.
Actually, kasi si Jimmy, ito, masabi ko lang, nung pinapanood natin yung 28 years na, kasi hindi tayo nakapunta dun sa parang yung special screening na hinold sa office ng Columbia for it. So, nag-out of pocket tayo. Medyo may nangyaring incident doon, kaya na-miss ko yung intro ng 28 years later. Pero nung pinanood ko siya months later, 28 months later, charot lang. Nung pinanood ko siya months later, grabe, diba? Nakakatakot pala yung
28 months later ba?
Kung pinanood, hindi naman, grabe naman. Parang kinabukasan ko lang, or a few months after ko lang pinanood yung intro ng 28 years. Grabe pala nakakatakot yung intro nun. So, grabing spine-chilling siya. Kasi ba parang Vicar, yung yung tatay niya, parang siyang, my angels, come to me. Tapos parang yung lahat ng mga marriage virus talagang kinakain siya. Tapos tonto siya, we're going to heaven. Parang, oh my God. So scary. So parang namanan niya yung mania ng tatay niya. Ngayon, naging
I mean, naturally, kung ikaw bata, tapos ganun yung ma-witness mo, talagang mafa-fuck up ka naman talaga.
Exactly. Imagine mo, ganun yung combo nun. Fucked up ka na, tapos mahilig ka pa sa Teletubbies. Oh my God.
Ay, ganun siya. Kaya, ang ganda nga nung niya eh. Sobrang iksi lang nung sequence na yon, pero it informed who Jimmy Crystal is as a person. Kaya relevant pa rin talaga yung previous movie dito sa Bone Temple eh. Parang siya eh. Talaga siya, kumbaga parang bundle siya.
Actually, if anything pa nga, yung parang 28 years later, parang ang dating niya, parang siyang prologue. Kasi ito yung mismong talagang kwento.
Magka-companion piece siya. You can't enjoy one without the other.
That's true. Kaya...
Kasi yung kwento rin ni Spike dun sa 28 years later, kinwento eh.
Mas bida si Spike dun sa una kasi.
Oo, pero yung emotional tag ni Spike dito sa Bone Temple, mas maiintindihan mo kung alam mo yung nangyari dun sa previous movie.
Kung ano yung connection ni Spike at saka ni Dr. Ian something? Basta sabi ko Ian Malcolm.
Ian McKellen.
Bookmark that. Ayun, magaling si Ray Fiennes, magaling si Jack O'Connell. Ang ganda ng direction ni Nia Da Costa. I mean,
Magaling din yung bata, si
last
Spike.
na panood natin ng Nia Da Costa na sine, yung The Marvels. Bawing-bawi naman
Marvel
yung
na
The
naman.
Marvels.
Pareho sila ni Sam Raimi.
Wala, you can't escape it. And actually, just like Sam Raimi, she was able to escape the shackles of such a very rigid system that she was able to craft a very engrossing movie. Of course, alongside writer Alex Garland. Kasi baby naman ni Alex Garland to. Pero syempre, yung vision pa rin ni Nia Da Costa, talagang, galing.
Oo.
Talaga.
At saka yung cinematography, sobrang ganda.
Oo.
Tsaka rock and roll to.
Yeah.
So, gandang to.
Nakakatuwa yung ending nito. Galing.
Sobra. Yung last 15 minutes ba?
I mean,
Last 15 to 20 minutes.
Oo.
Basta yung kapag ka, devil na.
yung bumalik na sa Bone Temple. Yung yung tawag niya kay Tawag niya kay sa demonyo. Sabi
Old Nick.
Yan, kasi ang journey ni Jamie Crystal dito, gusto niya ma-meet si Old Nick. Essentially si
Si Satanas.
Tapos,
Pinakaturo sa taas.
sabi ko Satanas, ganun. Si Satanas.
Pinakaturo ka sa taas.
Ngayon,
Sa baba.
Akala niya kasi nga parang puro na ng iodine sa katawan si Dr. Ian. Kasi yun yung pangontra sa rage virus.
Oo.
Kaya akala tuloy nito ni Loco, yan siya. Si Satan siya. Dahil dun sa iodine sa katawan, sobrang orange na ng balat niya. Ngayon, parang may deal sila na parang gusto lang ni Jamie na ma-retain yung control niya over his followers. Kasi medyo may nangyari na parang na shatter, di man, na parang na shake yung foundation ng kulto niya. So parang for him to get the upper hand again, yun, buti na nagkataon, nandun si Ian. So parang magmumuro-muro sila. Yung muro-muro naman niya, doon naman sa part ni Ray Fiennes, ni Ian, talagang, Ray Fiennes, bigay na bigay siya in more ways than one. Grabe yung talagang commitment niya dun sa kanyang bit as Old Nick dun sa dulo. Na,
as in, epic yun.
Oo, talagang sayaw talaga siya. Pero may part din dito na talagang bigay na bigay din siya. At medyo nagulat ako dun. Parang, wow, okay. Ray Fiennes. Wow, okay.
Yeah. Everything about Ray Fiennes. You'll see everything.
Oh my God. Ay, nako. Pero,
yung pala yung Bone Temple.
Oh. Boner Temple na pala. Oh my gosh. Kaya, if it's still in cinemas, don't miss it. Ang grade natin dito, let's give it a solid B+. Itong Bone Temple.
It's a continuing story.
Oo Hindi mo pa rin siya mapapanood without 28 years later. Pero on its own, if nasundan mo yung kwento niya, it's gonna be a satisfying conclusion to the parang duology niya. And where it teases the direction of the story is very exciting, especially kung fan ka itong saga na to thus far. Yun. So, shift gears naman tayo for our last film for this episode. We've been talking about new releases for the month of January. Pero the last film we're gonna be talking about is a re-release, 25th anniversary re-release to be specific. And that is the
Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Extended Edition.
Grabe yun.
Oh my God.
Ang haba nun.
It's epic. Yeah.
Pero sobrang ganda pa rin. Yun nga, sabi ko nga dun sa stand and talk natin, ilang beses ko na tong napanood talaga. As in, halos kabisado ko na nga yung mga ibang lines Pero first time ko siya napanood sa sinehan.
Gano'n katanda ba ako nung 2001? 10 years old. So, syempre, wala pa akong pambili ng
Ako 1 year old.
Doon pa tayo sa yung mga classic movies ng childhood natin. Yung mga napanood na lang natin sa VHS, VCD, DVD,
sa cable.
Oo. Yun yung mga tipong parang alam natin kung gaano siya ka epic. Kasi nga, tama ka, sabi mo na we've seen it again and again and again. Pero iba yung when you pair knowing that the film is so good with experiencing it viscerally in a dark cinema talaga. And
with the full blast nung sound, yung music mas ma-engross ka doon, and
yes,
with the full packed cinema.
yun yung nakakatuwa doon. Actually, yung pinanood natin to nung unang weekend na nilabas siya ni SM kasi due to clamor, insistent demand, inulit nila yung one weekend lang dapat.
Which
Kasi
is
ang dami
great.
hindi nakapanood eh, so that's good. Pero pinanood natin siya nung first weekend ng gabi, punong-puno yung SM North. Kasinihan nun talaga.
Nakakatuwa.
Tapos paglabas natin, ang dami pa nakapila ulit. Para sa susunod. So, I mean, right there and there, you know that there is a market for classic films that, you know, we've all grown up with. We want to experience it in the cinema. Kasi, ito, maikwento ko lang. Nung kapag nanonood tayo ng mga movies sa Glorieta, nung luma pa to, nung hindi pa to na-renovate siya, di ba dun sa may parang 4, 5, 6 sa right side na sinihan, pagpasok mo, may mga posters nung yung mga The Sword in the Stone, yung mga Wild Wild West, The Matrix, yung mga ganun. Parang iniisip mo, ano kaya yung pakiramdam? Nung, I guess, Gen X na yung mga yun, no? Ano pa kaya pakiramdam ng Gen X? Nung sila yung pumapasok sa loob ng Glorieta 4, watching these movies, yung mga Matrix, etc. So parang yun yung parang, I love it that SM is making that experience affordable for all movie aficionados, not just cinephiles, okay? Kasi we don't want to disenfranchise the ones na
Mga
casuals. Yun. Just the people who, you know about the Matrix. They might have had a relative, a friend, na talagang sobrang gusto yun, and they want to experience it. Not because they're cinephiles, but because it's a movie. And movies are for everybody.
Nakakatuwa yung mga reissues talaga, yung mga nire-release nila. Particularly natuwa ako dyan yung sa Interstellar eh.
That was epic.
Oh
my God.
Kasi hindi ko rin siya napanood in IMAX at the time.
Yun,
so parang first time, alam mo yung ilang beses mo na napanood, pero parang first time mo pa rin siyang ma-experience. Ganon din kahit dito sa Lord of the Rings.
Alam mo yung pinapanood na kasi may ano tayo eh. We're fortunate to have a Blu-ray copy of Interstellar and Lord of the Rings at home. So yung sa Lord of the Rings, ilang na napanood yung mga One Does Not Simply, or yung mga You Have My Sword, my bow, and my axe. Fly You Fools, mga ganyan. Alam na natin yun, nakabayan na dito eh. Pero iba yung pakiramdam nung pagpanood niya sa sinihan eh. Parang halimbawa sa Interstellar, yung docking sequence sa dulo, my God, that was a religious experience. Included mo yung tugtog.
Tsaka yung Murph.
Ay nako, movie. We're not gonna review the movie because the movie is a 5-star movie. Hindi natin kailangan ano yung kanyang merits niya kasi hindi magtatagal na ganito yung scene eh.
Yung legacy no.
Kung hindi siya sobrang ganda. It's still perfect the day we first saw it.
Yes.
Talaga. If anything, the extended edition
added a lot of new scenes, new sequences, new context
talaga
to everything you already know about Fellowship of the Ring.
That's true. Kaya nga, SM, talaga, please, yung 2 and yung 3.
Pakisalang na po yung disc 2.
Pakisalang na yung mga disc nun.
Disc 2 and disc 3.
Yung Helm's Deep at saka yung final battle sa Mordor. My God.
Oh my God, to see that.
God.
Sana IMAX.
I'm so excited. SM, please. We love you.
Meron na bang meron bang remaster yun ng IMAX? Pinalabas na ba sa US?
Alam ko meron siyang IMAX experience, no? Pero hindi ko alam kung yung extended edition yung part ng IMAX. Eh.
Okay lang kahit hindi extended, basta IMAX.
Basta IMAX. No?
Oo.
Ay nako, so the film itself A+, wala rin masabi lang. Pero the movie-going experience, the ability, yes, the ability to be able to watch old films again, especially these classics, at a very affordable price.
Yes, thank you so much, SM.
SM, you are a real G for that.
Hindi katulad ng iba.
$275? Para sa reissue? Tapos, I mean, we have our fellow Cine Geeks saying na sa probinsya, it goes down to as much as 230. Diba?
Kaya punong-puno yung sinihan noon. Tapos, in-extend pa nila yung
nag-ulit pa ng the next weekend kasi kita nila na ang daming
hindi nakapanood, ang daming may demand.
That's true. Kaya, yeah, SM Cinema, you get an A+. Good.
Yay, SM Cinema.
Yay Plus.
Good job.
Okay, so yun, nakapaghabol tayo ng ating mga movies na natin napag-usapan. It might not be as in-depth a review as you're looking for, pero we'd love to hear your thoughts about it. Sa lahat ng napag-usapan nating films, comment below what you thought of it. Again, we'd love to hear from you. And yeah, anything else to add before we end this episode?
Don't forget to follow us on our Spotify or YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Of course, we'll try to make this a regular thing, itong Cinebites, and wherever we find ourselves in, basta pwede mo ako.
Magkukwiki tayo sa tayo abutan.
Uy, baka yan yung maging pangalan nito. Cinebites to, wholesome tayo.
Di ba Sit and Talk?
Ha?
Sit and
Talk nga pala, oo. Formerly Cinebites. Oo.
And never gonna be Cinebites.
Ano lang tayo, clean. Clean version.
SFW. Okay, so for this episode of the Cinegeek Sit and Talk, I'm Roy.
And Angela.
We'll see you in the next one.